Hello, it's Gordon here, and this Facebook Live I've called "Is the NFL Vicious? Ask Daniel Carlson." And I'm a bit of a mess in this video. Oh, there's the camera. See, this is part of my experiment that I might do with these Facebook Lives in the group. Shorter and sweeter and more rough and ready, because believe it or not, with my other videos I do actually make some kind of effort. But this one, look, I haven't shaved, I'm a bit of a mess, I'm in the middle of stuff, I'm not using a stand, so I'm hand holding it, and I'd forgotten where the camera was. So yeah, sport, is the NFL vicious? Ask Daniel Carlson. Well, Daniel Carlson is the kicker of the Miami Vikings, or to be more accurate, the Facebook Live jumped there due to bad connection. Hopefully it's carrying on okay. Daniel Carlson, the kicker of the Miami Vikings, or to be more accurate, the ex-kicker of the Miami Vikings, because he's been sacked. Now, the NFL is vicious. It's a brutal athletic game. One of the reasons people like it, including me, is the big hits and the ferociousness of the tackle, with these blokes that are 20 stone plus going at it with massive athleticism combined with, let's be honest, brute force. But that doesn't really apply to the kickers, because in the NFL they have this odd thing where the place kickers, that's all they do. It's not like in rugby or football where the kick specialists are normal players. In the NFL, the kickers, the field goal kickers, just do that, nothing else. Which is great for them. They get paid good money to do that. But the downside of that is that you better make the kicks. If you miss the kicks, you're in trouble. If you miss 2 kicks, you're on very thin ice. If you miss 3 kicks in a game, you can expect to be sacked. Now, at the weekend, the Minnesota Vikings played the Green Bay Packers, and it was a great game. 2 teams who are playing well at the moment, 2 teams that would expect to make the playoffs, 2 teams that would expect to go on a deep run towards the Super Bowl. And it's only the second game of the season, and Daniel Carlson is a rookie. It's his first season in the big leagues in the NFL, and he missed 3 kicks during the game, 2 of them in overtime that would have won the game. And in the end, the game ended up as a tie, which is very unusual in the NFL. In the NFL, you don't get many ties. No team really likes it. And he was sacked after the game. Vicious, they don't mess about. And in the press conferences, Mike Zimmer, the head coach of the Vikings, was asked about cutting Daniel Carlson, and his response was, "Did you see the game?" With a straight face. And then he was asked, was it an easy decision to make? And he said, pretty easy, yes. With a straight face. No further explanation. Certainly no smiling. Pretty hardcore stuff. Pretty vicious. And there's a goal achievement story in there, isn't there? As there always is in sport. There's only 32 teams in the NFL, so there's only 32 place kicking jobs available. So to get one of those is a huge goal achievement. But to get the job is not the end of the story. You've got to keep the job. And to keep the job, you've got to be able to do it when the pressure is on. In the NFL, in game time, what they call clutch kicking is the jargon in American sport, where it all comes down to you. The whole team has been working towards getting you the opportunity to make the kick, and you're expected to make it. And he didn't. In his rookie season, only the second game, he missed 3, bang, and he's out the door. Now, will he get a chance with another team? Not likely at the moment, because who's going to take him on? Because the Minnesota Vikings, once they cut him, they've signed Dan Bailey, who is a veteran kicker. And you sign a veteran kicker because you need someone in place who is going to make the kicks more likely than not. And Daniel Carlson, who's been cut, well, who's going to take him on? Which other team is going to take him on when everyone in the league knows that he's been cut for missing 3 kicks when the pressure came? He's going to be struggling. But as Dan Bailey said, who's just been picked up by the Minnesota Vikings, he feels for Daniel Carlson, who's been cut, because obviously there's an empathy amongst the kickers, because they all walk that knife edge of being a couple of misses away from unemployment. So he said he felt for Daniel Carlson, but he was excited for the opportunity that came his way. Which is the other goal achievement story, isn't it? The door was shut for Daniel Carlson. Well, it was slammed in his face, actually. But that meant an opening for Dan Bailey. So he flew in, he got on a plane, passed his medical, and he is now the kicker for the Minnesota Vikings. So we'll see how far he gets. So let me know what you think about that. A quick sport Facebook Live in the group. Do you watch the NFL? Have you ever seen it? And if so, do you enjoy it? Do you watch the highlights? There's 2 highlights. Well, there's one highlight show in the UK and one sort of feature magazine type show in the NFL. So we get 2 hours worth a week in the NFL. That's unless you're going to pay for it, of course. If you're going to pay for it, you can watch masses of live games, hours and hours and hours every week. But as I've said many times, because I watch so much sport, once sport goes to pay-per-view, if I can make do with the free offerings, I will do, because it helps to cut down the amount of sport I watch in the first place. So there we go. Yes, the NFL is pretty vicious on and off the pitch. Gordon Bryan signing off for now. I hope all is well with you. Wishing you as ever health and happiness. And I'll speak to you again soon.